What's going on, everyone? Here with another video. This video is generally calling people of Reddit what made you lose your absolute shit that time, posted by A Light at the End. First one. My brother and I played travel sports for a few seasons as kids. One trip, I was at the pool with some of his teammates messing around in the water, and the coach's kid was being a dick as usual. My brother was one of the smaller kids on his team, so the son's coach would fuck with him a lot. Most of the kids on my brother's team disliked him, but didn't speak up so they wouldn't be next. He thought it would be funny to pick up my brother's drink right in front of him and spit into it. My dad taught me from a young age not to let anyone fuck with my brother or sister, so I got seriously pissed. I took a good running start and shoulder checked him into the pool. Since he had just gotten there, he hadn't taken off his clothes yet and cried because his iPhone and iPod got ruined. He literally ran out yelling, "I'm telling my dad." Well, that backfired because everyone stuck up for my brother, and the coach was not happy about finding out what a shitbird his son was being, so he was the only one to get in any trouble. My grandfather passed away, so I told my boss that I had to take a couple days off to be with my family. He had the nerve to tell me work was more important than family and threatened to fire me. I went off on him in the middle of the office for a solid 5 minutes before quitting and rushing home. This happened in some clubs ages ago. I was bouncing around the dance floor with everybody else and apparently stepped on some dude's foot, who had apparently been standing there with his posse of 2 or 3 other guys watching people. I shrugged and apologized, then turned around to leave. Right then, somebody smacked me in the back of the head. Not hard, but hard to ignore. I turned around, still calm, and said something like, "Look, I'm going to walk this way. You guys stay here and nothing more needs to happen." Turned around again, got smacked in the head again. I was very much pissed off at that point. It didn't help that they looked at me all innocent. I couldn't even tell which one of them did it. So I just stuck my finger in the face of the dude whose foot I allegedly stepped on and recommended he don't do it again. Turned around once more, waiting to get smacked in the head again. This time, they poured a glass of beer in my back. That's when I completely lost my shit, threw myself around, and went straight at the guy. I was in full rage mode, didn't care what happened next as long as that guy suffered. I could tell by the terrified look on his face he realized he had gone too far. His friends never stepped in to help him. After a while, people separated us, and that was that. I have no sympathy at all for people who resort to violence for solving their problems, but feel no shame for having snapped in that situation. I think I did everything in my power to avoid what eventually happened. I worked at a diner with an open kitchen. You can see us and we can see you. I'm the only cook during the lunch rush when I hear a lady shout, "Hey!" I look over and a lady sitting in a booth points at me and then does a very condescending "come here" motion with her finger. I thought something was wrong with her food, so I decided to run out of the kitchen, leaving 4 orders on the grill, and see what I need to fix. She has no food on her table. She holds up her blue soda cup out to me and asks, "What is this? Excuse me, why is my root beer in a soda cup and not a mug?" I don't know, I'm just a cook." Oh great, another fucking idiot in this fucking place who doesn't know anything. She then proceeds to chew me out because I, the cook, do not know why the server gave her root beer in a cup. We have special root beer mugs, but the servers could not find them. Someone misplaced them. I apologize and head back into the kitchen while she loudly talking crap about me to the next booth to find that all my orders are ruined and more had been coming in. It's already stressful working in a kitchen, and that was the last straw. I went in back, started screaming and kicking the shit out of the walk-in cooler. When I went back out, everyone was quiet and avoided eye contact, even the lady with the issues. Still looked pretty mad, though. I rushed through the orders, and thank God she left without saying anything. I didn't get in trouble, though, since my manager was serving and had to deal with her as well. He understood. I grew up on a farm, and one day, several cows decided that since their head could fit through a small hole in the gate, then their whole body could fit through a small hole in the gate. This resulted in a broken gate, a cow stuck in the broken gate, several cows roaming freely in a field after escaping through the broken gate, and me absolutely losing my shit. I now work in IT. Cows are dumb. In 6th grade, a group of some 4 kids took monopoly of the back of the bus, a true power move. I always minded my own business and tried to sit away from them. For one, they all didn't understand basic hygiene and smelled even though they were older than me. Anyway, Turns out the bus driver was their quiet, retired grandpa who would never tell them to stop bullying or doing dumb shit. So one time, they have a fucking spitting war, as in they spit across the seats at each other as they jump seats for cover. At one point, I was the seat in the middle, and a giant wad of their disgusting spit hit me square in my face. I then proceeded to take my Pearson history book, one of those big, heavy hardcover textbook, and smash him over the head with it. Granted, this was me telling them to stop their nonsense several times. The spitting stopped after that. Anyway, the book cover cracked and they had to pay at the end of the year, but I regret nothing. A kid bit me on the chest in kindergarten. I waited till after nap time to run over to him with my tricycle. Back when I was working in retail, I was manning the return desk when this woman comes in to return 2 totes full of clearance clothes. She wants to rebuy them all since clearance stuff was now cheaper. That's against the rules, and I explain why, but per usual, she gets a manager and the manager caves. Since she bought this stuff on 3 different receipts and mixed them all up, this transaction is fixing to take 30 minutes at least, and I'm frustrated but hiding it well. 15 minutes in, I hear some commotion off to the side. I turn my head and see that this woman's 5 or so completely unsupervised kids have piled onto a flat cart and are pushing it around. I don't know why it set me off so bad, but I pointed and yelled at them, raising my voice for the first and last time during my 10-year stint. The entire place fell silent, and the customer was so mad at her kids that she took her stuff and left. A couple co-workers said seeing me get angry was really unsettling, a blessing and a curse that comes with being the quiet one, I guess. My friend and I were walking home from high school, sophomore year, I think. He was really bothering me. He kept lightly tripping me the whole walk home. I kept asking him to stop, but he didn't. For context, I did get picked on in high school, so maybe this moment was just a breaking point for some other incident. When we got near where we would separate, he did the tripping thing one last time, and I lost it. I swung my backpack at him, high school remember, so I had heavy books, lunch bag, etc. Here's the part where he really effed up. He was carrying a balsa wood bridge home that he needed to complete for some class. When I swung the backpack, he dropped the bridge. I ran directly at him, but then saw another, better target. I could have kicked a 60-yard field goal. I grabbed my bag, turned, and walked as he stared at his scattered work, saying in a shocked voice, "You broke my bridge." I replied, "I don't give a fuck," or something to that effect. 15 years later, and he's one of my best friends. My college made us buy parking passes for guests in the parking lot, which was only ever maybe 60% full, even on weekends. My girlfriend came to visit, and we bought the $8 pass, and the front desk girl gave us a pencil to fill out with our license plate and arrival time, etc. When she went to leave Sunday, there were 3 parking tickets, one for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, of $25 each because we wrote the parking pass in pencil, rage-inducing, as if we weren't already paying enough money. I was always a really quiet kid, even as a toddler apparently, so one of the first times I remember losing my shit was when I got really tired of this third grader picking on me on the bus. I was in kindergarten and this kid kept popping his head over my seat and poking me. I timed it out, and the next time he did, I punched him straight in the nose, which he immediately started bleeding and crying. I didn't know it at the time, but apparently the kid's parents tried to get some disciplinary action against me. That was until I found out I wasn't the same age or older. They just didn't want to make a big stink out of their kid getting bitch slapped by a kindergartner. Alright, one more. It was Halloween, and I was sitting out the front of my house watching my sister take my niece, who was around 4, trick-or-treating. The people who lived above us, who lived in a maisonette, decided to shoot off a firework at them. This is the only time I've lost my shit. Got them inside the house, made sure they were all right. Sister had only a few non-serious burns on her arm, and managed to shield my niece from the explosion. At that point, I was just so angry, went up to their door and started banging on it, demanding they come out. They didn't answer, so I started trying to kick the door in. My mom and brother dragged me away and back out inside to calm me down. Half an hour later, the police arrived because the neighbors had called them about me. Luckily, after we explained what had actually happened, I didn't get in any trouble, but neither did they. Sorry for it being poorly written, blah, blah, blah. All right, that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please comment, like, subscribe. Stick around for the next video.